question. If your lordships answer that question and do not want to go into the greater controversy of whether the case was itself in substance correctly decided or not, then that is sufficient. Your lordship...
I think these are... Do you have any other case to cite?
My lord, only two cases which I had pointed out earlier. I will refer your lordship to them. My lord, Mr. Justice Mansoor Ali Shah was keenly interested in what is happening in other jurisdictions. My lord, some materials came to my hand last night. I'll be submitting those later in photocopied form. But if your lordship sees this volume number 1, Volume 1, your lordship will see, after the article by Lord Bingham at item number 16, there are 3 books, 17, 18 and 19. One is on miscarriage of justice, the other is on the Criminal Cases Review Commission, and the third is wrongful conviction international perspective. So what is happening in the world over to correct miscarriages of justice? And what is happening is that in England too, they have now created, even if the judgment has attained finality, what they call the Criminal Review Commission, Criminal Law Review Commission, where a reference can be made to it. And that is how, my lord, the convictions of the Birmingham 4 were reopened. Many of these, again, as my lord the Chief Justice mentioned, sometimes the circumstances are so compelling.
They were reopened in appeal, or?
My lord, under this new jurisdiction created through the Criminal Law Review Commission, the Home Secretary made a reference and the Court of Appeal then overturned the earlier convictions. In US, my lord, in Canada they have done the same. Your lordship will find it in these materials. They have done the same in Northern Ireland. They have done the same in a number of jurisdictions. In US,
but they've done it through some statutory...
They have. In US, they do it through the common law jurisdiction. In US, they have...
In US, there's no statute.
No statute. What they have done is kept alive the old English jurisprudence, which is now no longer used in England, which was called the writ of coram nobis, which meant the writ to correct errors.
How do you spell that?
C-O-R-A-M N-O-B-I-S.
N-O?
N-O-B-I-S.
That is, I think,
Curative jurisdiction.
B for my lord, Bombay.
Curative.
My lord, coram nobis to say, yes, if an error has been made, we can cure it. Now, of course, the issue before your lordship would be that sitting on your own, under 187 you can't reopen the case. But if a case comes to you in the 184.3 or comes under 185 or comes under 186, your lordship...
But we cannot exercise curative jurisdiction under Article 186.
My lord,
it is
your
only
lordship...
a matter which in Supreme Court reports the opinion.
It's not a curative jurisdiction.
Yes.
It's an authority with the court to recognize that it has committed an error.
For instance, now take a very, a practical thing. The judgment under review states that the primarily approvers' evidence was the determining factor. Now, can we, giving an opinion, say capital punishment or this is insufficient in a murder case to totally rely upon an approver's testimony? I mean, that will be settling a principle of law, skirting the issue of the decision itself. But can we render an opinion? And once rendered, would it be of binding effect on the high courts and other courts?
My lord, that's one way, but that goes to substance. Your lordship may do the same thing in process. I'll give you an example of process. Mia Baz and the 2 other witnesses were not inclined to give evidence in a particular way, and that has come through contemporaneous materials. That is there on the YouTube, Your Lordship, find it. I have will be placing that disc before Your Lordship. A junior of Mr. M. Anwar on the YouTube saying that how he saw what happened between judges and a former chairperson of the Amir Jamaat-e-Islami in that case, and how these convictions were procured, the evidence was procured. Your Lordship will find that in a letter of Mr. Sharifuddin Pirzada, which forms part of Mr. Rafi Raza's book, which I read out last time, where he says that General Iqbal brought it to his attention that the approvers were saying that their testimony was not independent. They were compelled to give this testimony. And he giving an opinion then that in that case the conviction cannot stand. On that opinion, he then pointing out that virtually in so many words that Maulvi Mushtaq Hussain approached General Ziaul Haq, and the Supreme Court then issued us, and Justice Ghulam Safdar Shah made a statement saying this is what has happened. The Supreme Court was then prevailed upon by General Ziaul Haq to issue a statement correcting what Mr. Justice Ghulam Safdar Shah had stated. Now this shows to you that the process was not based on simply what evidence was there, but was vitiated.
So basically you're saying that, I mean, there could be bad judgments and there are wrongly decided judgments of this court. That's not our business. We're not touching those. We are only limited to a judgment where the process is so seriously biased, which is outside the merits of the case. It is the process, it's the way judges were performing. Could we touch those in this jurisdiction? We can't go into the merits of the case, neither can we say it was a bad judgment, it settled wrong law. That's not our problem. It is only the process, and it only relates to the judge.
My Lord, where else would you find a case where one of the dissenting judges, Mr. Justice Ghulam Safdar Shah, publicly speaks and says that this approver evidence was, my word, not his, procured? That the Attorney General of the time writes a letter to Mr. Rafi Raza in which he says that he then communicated to Maulvi Mushtaq Hussain, who approached him, that this would result in the conviction being rendered unsafe and being reopened. Maulvi Mushtaq Sahib then, it appears, he doesn't say though it explicitly, apparently spoke to General Ziaul Haq, who sent out the then Attorney General for treatment, and the Supreme Court issued a press statement. You will not find another case, my lords, where another judge who was in the majority says that the judge, the Chief Justice of the High Court, visited him with Mr. Sharifuddin Pirzada and wanted the composition of the bench to be of a particular kind. This squares up with your Lordship's jurisprudence in Asif Ali Zardari of a bench chasing a case. He had decided the case. He had no business to fix the benches in the Supreme Court. Naseem Hasan Shah Sahib saying, it's not proper for me to sit, I am an ad hoc judge, but if my Chief Justice so directs...
we noted that.
Yes. And
I remember reading, I don't know, it's about the cat.
About?
The cat. Was it said by some judge or not?
About the cat being out of the bag?
No. That I won't hang a cat or something like that.
It is, my lord, it is attributed to Justice Qaisar Khan. That remark is attributed to Justice Qaisar Khan, who said during the course, my lord, probably in contemporaneous newspaper reports it came out somewhere.
And he was not...
I will take a look at the contemporaneous newspaper reports as well, if I can, that you cannot hang a cat on this evidence. Or something to that effect.
So you've heard it.
Yes, my lord. It was widely...
I had heard it, but I don't remember where it was or who said it.
So it was attributed to Qaisar Khan Sahib. And then, my lord, where else would you find that Justice Durab Patel saying that he wanted Justice Wahiduddin Ahmad to remain on the bench, and Justice Naseem Hasan Shah Sahib also saying that Qaisar Khan's tenure could have been, if he had been given an extension, the composition of the bench would have remained the same, and inviting them to participate in the judgment. And then Mr. Justice Naseem Hasan Shah writing in his book that had the composition remained the same, the majority was with Mr. Bhutto. That's no interview, that's his book. So it would have been 5-4 in favor of Mr. Bhutto's acquittal. Durab Patel sahab also saying in the interview which your lordship will summon from the archives, your lordship will see.
PTV का जो आपने जिक्र किया Durab Patel का, is that before us or not?
Sir, it's not before you. The clips are in YouTube. I have got a clip.
No, Mr. Raza Rabbani has not filed
my
it.
lord, if he has, I think Mr.
I don't know if anyone has filed it or not. Sorry, Mr. Farooq Naik. He's referring to some interview by Durab Patel.
I have filed clips
of this PTV. Okay.
PTV archives mein.
We can get the whole interview and file the clips of Mr. Durab Patel.
If you think
Yeah,
that's
we already
sufficient.
filed it. We have already filed it. When my turn will come, we will get
Mr.
it.
Naik, like me, has the clips.
Yeah.
Or if your lordship wants to see the entire interview, that's in PTV archives.
Okay, so, we'll bear that in mind.
Your lordship will have to summon that.
So please, continue quickly.
The submission is that
I just want to push you a bit.
Yes, my lord, I hope
you don't mind.
Not at all, my lord. My lord, Mr. Justice Yahya Afridi asked that question. What other materials, my lord? The two other materials which I would request your lordship to look at are the two judgments from the US jurisdiction, the federal court judgments which I have referred to several times. These are at serial number 13 and 14 of this blue bundle, index volume 1. And in both cases, the federal court overturned in a way. Pages 79 to 84 is one, and 85 to 102
79?
is the other. 79, the handwritten page 79, my lord.
Okay.
What jurisdiction was used?
US,
my lord.
No, I mean
Supreme Court.
Federal court.
No, my lord, Supreme Court.
My lord, in the Supreme Court, the matter went during the wartime, and the appeals of both Hirabashi and Korematsu were turned down by the Supreme Court. After the war hysteria was behind them, they went to the court and they said that what had happened to them.
So they were decided matters during the wartime.
A lower court undid it.
The lower court undid. They exercised the jurisdiction of writ of quorum nobis.
No, the matter didn't go to the Supreme Court.
No, because the state never appealed. The state didn't appeal, my lord, because what was asked.
So I think both the extreme position was.
But sir, why the state didn't appeal is that the president of the day had apologized to the Japanese citizens who had been interned during the war.
I understand that, but a lower court undoing a Supreme Court judge.
Yes, they are saying.
And the other one is?
The other one is, my lord, 85 to 102. That 85. Again is lower court undoing that and granting,
we will read it,
and granting compensation. The overruling by the Supreme Court came much later. The overruling by the Supreme Court has come virtually very, very recently. I'll just give your lordship the year. In the case of Trump versus Hawaii, this is 2017 judgment where the overruling has come in, and the relevant page is page 38.
In this same booklet.
Yes, my lord, this is volume 3 and this is tab 11. The citation is
कौन सी वाली में?
जो आज दिए सर.
अच्छा आज दिए. Which one? Page?
Tab 11, the last page of this. I have just filed an excerpt because it's a very long judgment.
What had happened?
The Supreme Court now says the dissent's reference to Korematsu, and the Korematsu citation is there. It was decided in 1944. The dissent's reference to Korematsu, however, affords this case the opportunity to make express what is already obvious. Korematsu was gravely wrong the day it was decided, has been overruled in the court of history, and to be clear, has no place in law under the Constitution.
Is this the same Trump, the President Trump?
Gee, this is the President Trump.
What was this case about?
My lord, this case was about Mr. Trump making, I think this is insofar as I recall the facts.
Just very briefly.
There was a proclamation issued by the President, and that proclamation had come up before the Supreme Court.
Okay.
The Homeland Security's proclamation, this related to some of the countries and immigration restrictions. My Lord, another important judgment which your Lordship may like to take a look at is the last case. It originates from Singapore and
Tab 13.
Tab 13. May I say so? This is Mr. Justice Sundaresh Menon, who is now the Chief Justice of the Court of Appeal, which is their Supreme Court. He is, however, deciding this singly, so his title is a Judicial Commissioner. And may I just read out, my Lord, your Lordship will see the opening paragraph that is there. That settles the principle, and I'll sit down after reading it.
Paragraph. We've glanced through it, huh?
Yes, my Lord. If your Lordship may see paragraph 12 only. Last two lines. The issue in an application for judicial review is not whether the tribunal, the findings of which are the subject of the challenge, has reached a decision that the courts considers is correct. Rather, it is whether it has proceeded correctly, observing the applicable due process requirements. I am on the second link. And that's all, my Lord.
Anything from Islamic jurisprudence?
My Lord, on the issue of a person, I've been submitting materials that a person who is interested in the outcome of the case is unfit to be a qazi and should not be presiding over the case. That is settled law. A fair hearing is settled law in Islamic jurisprudence. I will place the books on record.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir,
for your help. And I must say that you've done a lot of homework on this.
Thank you, sir.
So now if we can just do a little homekeeping and decide how we're going to proceed on the next date of hearing, because I think it's now 3 o'clock.
So
may I, my Lord, before the Lordship do that, offer a personal apology to Mr. Justice Hilali. In photocopying the bundles which were done today overnight, the photocopier made a mistake and photocopied one bundle less. I apologize. That bundle will be placed before Her Ladyship today, but my unconditional apology for that.
I'll provide mine to her. Gender balance comes first.
Who are the other Micah? Salahuddin Sahab. Salahuddin Sahab, how long will you take?
There's about 45 minutes to an hour.
Okay. I hope you're traversing ground not already covered. Yes. And I'm sure you must have, there must be commonality. So if you can just now excise that portion, because unless you are not supporting him altogether, that will be different. But otherwise, if you can break fresh ground, we'll appreciate. Are you filing anything for us to see? Or have you filed already?
I haven't filed yet, sir. I will be filing.
अब करें ना आप काफी हमने वक्त दिया था. अच्छा, और कौन है माइकस इसमें आज? आपका स्टेज 2 में आ रहे हैं.
जावेद खान साहब है.
खालिद जावेद खान.
हाँ, he's not well.
He's not well.
Okay. आई हैं. अच्छा, उनकी रिटन सबमिशंस आई हुई हैं. ठीक है. तो मेरे ख्याल में आप भी तैयार हो जाएं क्रिमिनल के लिए, because we won't divide it into 2. And we would request if आपने कोई चीज फाइल की राइटिंग में कर दिए? ओके. एंड मंजूर मलिक साहब ने कुछ फाइल किया है? रिटायर्ड जस्टिस मंजूर मलिक साहब. हाँ, जस्टिस रिटायर्ड मंजूर मलिक साहब ने कुछ किया? अच्छा, तो वो अगर आना चाहें तो वो आ जाएं, या वो फाइल करना चाहें फाइल कर लें, जैसे भी करें. ठीक है. तो क्या करें?
Documents which have been given to the court, I'm the complainant. I must be given relevant documents so that I can answer.
We will ensure that Mr. Makhdoom Ali Khan is further spends money.
My Lord, it will.
Can you please provide a set to Mr. Kasuri as well?
The complete set which has been given to this honorable court.
I think आपका भी काम आसान होगा. He's very diligently put together all the case law. He's a amicus in the case. So and these cases that he cited, many of them are not available in book form here. So can you do
all the volumes will be given to him. It will photocopied and given to him.
अच्छा, तो अब आप ना राब्ता डायरेक्ट कर लीजिएगा मखदूम साहब से. अगर उन्हें 2 दिन में नहीं दिया, आप उनको फोन करके कह दीजिएगा. He will honor it. He will honor it. Rest assured. अच्छा, तो आप लेंगे about half an hour, 45 minutes. अच्छा, हाउ लॉन्ग विल, अच्छा ख्वाजा जावेद खान साहब ने फाइल कर दिया कुछ, एंड आप कितना लेंगे या आप कुछ नहीं कहना चाहते हैं? राइटिंग में दे दिया आपने? अच्छा, ओके, दैट्स गुड। रज़ा साहब आप कितना लेंगे?
About at least 2.5 hours.
The only thing is, we would love to hear this endlessly, but please be aware that my Lord has very few days left, so at least if the hearing is concluded, the judgments can come later also. But and we are so if you can supplement your things in writing if you want to do that.
My Lord, I've already done that. I haven't submitted it, but I have my synopsis ready. And out of that, I'll only be picking up 2 to 3 questions which your Lordship had put in the order of the 12th. And I will take those up. The others I will...
Otherwise, what will happen is reconstitution of the bench, and you know that.
I know.
Means the case will probably never get heard.
I'll try and be as short as...
So, no, we don't want to push you, but you are aware of this.
I'm aware of it.
जी, ठीक है.
Sir,
Zahid साहब आप कितना लेंगे?
Sir, I'll take...
Half an hour.
I'll take, I represent Mr. Bilawal Bhutto Zardari.
जी.
I'll take about 1 hour, my lord, at least 1 hour.
Somebody was
नहीं, मगर ये चीजें just bear in mind.
जी, मैं repeat नहीं करूँगा, sir. I will not repeat.
No. We want to cut short, but then reconstitution means, if it ever happens even.
तो आप मैं समझता हूँ क्या कहते
बड़ी मुश्किल से हमने यहाँ तक लाया इसको.
एमाइकस के बाद अगर आप हमें दे दें, क्या कहते हैं, तो
नहीं देखें, एमाइकस का फायदा होगा. एमाइकस के बाद तो नेचुरली आप ही आएंगे ना फौरन.
एमाइकस के बाद उसके बाद
कसूरी साहब आप खुद बहस करेंगे या आपने कोई वकील किया है? Because नहीं, just one word. No, it's enough.
I'll be talking about the actual case because I have seen...
ठीक है. नहीं, हम सिर्फ पूछ रहे हैं कि अगर आप वकील करना चाहें, आप कर सकते हैं.
No, from the folks are from the
सर मेरी इल्तिजा होगी, एमाइकस के बाद आप मुझे इजाजत दे दें, फिर रजा रब्बानी साहब को दे दें.
He will have the last word.
जी नहीं, रजा रब्बानी साहब को दे दें और फिर क्या कहते हैं.
Yeah, that's how we proceed.
जाहिद साहब.
Yeah, we'll finish everything because amicus are supposed to be neutral.
ठीक.
Naturally, you and Kasuri Saab, because it's your case, so he has the right to say that I have the last word after he hears what you say.
After क्या कहते हैं अपने सलाउद्दीन साहब के बाद मुझे चांस दे दीजिए, फिर
जब आप डेट पे एग्री कर लें.
जी सर, डेट आप जो हुक्म करेंगे
नेक्स्ट वीक में.
जी हाँ, जो हुक्म करें.
मंडे को रख लें.
मंडे को रख लीजिए.
Do you need to come? If you are available, please do. Some queries come up.
Tuesday को रख लें तो that would be better because we all come from Karachi. Tuesday would be better, sir.
तो किसी को तो मंडे को
Javid Khan has sent a request for 28th, but that's up to your lordship.
मंडे को हम करते हैं. मंडे को आए ना, अब संडे को आ जाए कराची से.
ठीक है सर, मंडे को कर लीजिए. ठीक है. We'll be here, sir. But we will be here on Sunday.
Otherwise, we'll report you to whoever we have to report you to.
वही तो कहती है कि संडे को भी तुम चले जाती हो.
So bring her along. Good weather in Islamabad.
आपका मुकम्मल इख्तियार नहीं है.
बिल्कुल सर, किसका है? किसी का भी नहीं है.
मैं आपको पूछना चाहता हूँ.
जी अच्छा.
Mr. Khalid Javid Khan will be coming, or he just submitted something in writing?
My lord, he told me that...
Does he want to be heard, or he just said, I filed whatever?
My lord, he said that if this case is fixed on the 22nd or the 28th, he would be here and also make...
Monday है?
28th is Wednesday.
Hey, वो पता नहीं हम फिर कैसे चलेंगे. If someone is not available, we can maybe hear them and then they can come.
Monday,
ठीक है? But चलें तो फिर Monday को हम करते हैं 11:30.
Thank you, my lord.
Monday को... हाँ?
हाँ पता है।
नहीं मंडे को तो कोई नहीं बेंच, कोई बेंच ट्यूसडे को कोई बेंच है, ठीक है. We try to do as unless there are other benches, so we want to finish it as soon as early. By all means, you can give submissions in writing later.
Yes, my lord.
So लिखें.
This week, my lord, I have a personal difficulty.
No, we don't. We're not doing it this week.
But next week, I
Monday को कर रहे हैं ना. Because you've concluded.
Yes,
so now if you come on.
In terms of written submissions as well, my lord, because I have to rush back to Karachi.
No rush on that.
Thank you very much.
Because it's too much material for us to absorb. You can take your time about that. No rush at all.
Thank you, sir.
The most thankless task is of amicus.
No, it's always an honor, my lord.
इसमें लिखिए, Mr. Makhdoom Ali Khan, learned amicus, Mr. Makhdoom Ali Khan has made his submissions and states that he will be filing written amicus brief.
My lord.
Full stop. Mr. Salahuddin Ahmed, Mr. Salahuddin Ahmed, who is another amicus, states that he will take about 45 minutes. Mr. Khalid Javed Khan has submitted written amicus brief. In case he wants to make submissions, he may do so on the next date of hearing. Thereafter, आपने भी कर दिया है ना, आप कुछ आर्ग्यू करेंगे या सिर्फ फाइल करना है?
It's written with the
file states that he's filed thing, and unless called upon to do so, he does not need to add anything further. Justice retired Manzoor Malik may file or make submissions after the full stop. Learned counsel for the children oblique grandchildren of the late Mr. Zulfikar Ali Bhutto will then be heard, and lastly Mr. Ahmed Raza Kasuri, the complainant in the case, if he wants to engage a counsel, he may do so. Full stop. To come up on Monday की तारीख, Monday, 26th February 2024 at 11:30 p.m. All the learned amicus and counsel and parties are requested to be as precise and brief in their submissions. However, any one of them may file further written submissions.
My lord, the person who is the cause of all this trouble, the learned Attorney General, is not mentioned in this betting.
Oh,
he's the mover and shaker of the reference.
He's been hiding, no wonder. The cause of the trouble, how long will you take?
No, my lord, I might not take too long. I might not
former Attorney General is calling you a troublesome Attorney General.
But I have inherited this, so I may be excused.
You're following in his footsteps, I think.
So I might not take much time because a lot will already have been said by that time. So I think I'll try to just keep it to half an hour and not more, sir.
Maybe you go at the very last.
That is how.
After Mr. Kasuri.
Of course, my lord.
Because we expect the greatest neutrality from the Attorney General on matters of law.
My lord,
under Article 100 of the Constitution.
That's how I.
ठीक है. So Kasuri साहब को कोई इतराज ना हो, तो he will go last. You will go second last. ठीक है? ठीक है. उसमें Attorney General का भी तस्करा कर दें last. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you, sir.
And ladies.